So this is a piece of mesquite. Viewer David sent me this a while back, and I noticed when I got it, it had a lot of cracks in it. So I turned a small piece of it, and now I decided I wanted to turn this, but with the big cracks here, I think I can turn those away if I make this the bottom and this the top. I do have a crack up on top that I have to contend with, but we'll take care of that when we get to it. I did put some CA in there. So I'm going to sharpen up my gouges, and I'll be right back and we'll start turning on this. Alright, I got this mounted up and then I took a little break. I come back out and this crack looks like it's gotten bigger, so I don't know how this is going to work out. But I'm going to start with a 5/8 bowl gouge, and it's slightly out of balance, so we're going to do about 600 RPM, then we can turn it up once we get it balanced. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on here. I guess it's punky wood. It's all under this bark, it's that way. Hopefully we can get past all that. Looks like it's punky clear into there. I'm not sure how this is going to work out. Might as well keep going for a while now. Alright, I think I'm getting fairly close to getting through this spalted area, which is very punky. About 730 RPM now. Sure seeing a lot of chatoyance in this piece. So right now I'm going to get rid of the rest of this, and I think I'll call it a day. This is miserable stuff. Okay, that's solid. I need to clean that up so I can get the light center up against it again. So it really does a lot of bouncing when I'm cutting here. By golly, I think I found a solid spot. There we go. I like to bump this a couple times to make sure it's centered before I put a lot of pressure on it. Oh, I think that's it. Holy smokes. Alright. See you sometime tomorrow. Alright, I'm back out here and looking this over and thinking about how hard this is. I stopped right about there thinking going down to my standard jaws and making the tenon. I decided I'll go with a larger tenon, use these jaws. I think there should be just enough. I'll have to put a reverse angle on here to grab, but we're going to do that, and if those fit on there, I'm going to feel more comfortable about turning this. I did put CA glue in this last night there. There's a small crack that I'm not going to do anything with if I don't have to, and there's a crack here. Not sure where we're going to end up, but let's start by getting ourselves a dovetail on that, see if we can grab it. It's spinning pretty good, about 850. I have to use this skew here. Okay, not a lot to spare, but it does, and it looks like it's running. Okay, runs nice and true. Let's go back and finish working on this, and it's almost ready. Alright, I'm going to use a negative rake scraper and just kind of blend some high spots and check it out, but I know I have to remove something from the top, and I'm not sure how much. But let's do this and maybe it'll be ready to do some sanding. Doing about 400 RPM. Let's see how it cuts. Alright, time to sand, and it's already pretty smooth. I could probably start with 120 grit, but I want to use 80 because I want to show you one of the reasons I sand in reverse, because I get asked that a lot. And on the outside, I almost always sand with the lathe running in reverse, and it has a lot to do with the dust collector port. A couple other reasons, but we're going to go over this now. Maybe I should make a special video for the other reasons. So we're going to have the lathe running at about 325 RPM, and I'll start using with this disc, and then I'll show you why sometimes, depending on the wood, the sheet of paper actually will sand better. Alright, I have it set up so you can see it better. I'm going to start with the 2-inch disc, and then I'll switch to the sheet of paper. I think you'll be able to see the difference. Alright, I'm sure you can see that. That just, especially on this harder wood, it just grabs a hold of it and sands it right off, and you saw it all going in there. That's one of the main reasons I sand in reverse. If I was sanding forward, I would get it all on me. I'll finish sanding it up, we'll come back and get a coat of sealer on it. Well, I am getting pretty excited to see what this looks like. So let's just go ahead and do it. Mmm. Now that looks pretty yummy. I would never have known those colors were in there since I've been working on it, but sure as could be, it's very colorful. When you get it smooth like this, this just goes on so much nicer. This wood is very dense, so it doesn't have too many places to go. Another reason why I thinned it out a little bit. Okay, that's about it. That's one coat, and I'm pretty sure I'll use shellac for the final finish, but if I change my mind, I'll sure let you know. Another coat of sealer at least, and then we'll have it flipped around. Well, it's bright and early in the morning. It's 6:26 a.m. Doing about 720 RPM, and that's a 5/8 bowl gouge. Well, we're getting somewhere. Okay, I will have to back up the tailstock now so I can take care of this area. Alright, I just sharpened up my 1/2-inch bowl gouge, and I'm going to turn the light on here for a while. Just kind of work on this edge. I'm going to turn the light on. It's gotten a little bit dark in there. Whoa, I think that's going to be it. Yeah, that's it. perfect. I suppose we'll go over it a little bit with this scraper, and then we can do some sanding, finally. Alright, that will do it. This piece of wood has a couple different types of hardness. We have hard, we have real hard, and then we have extra hard. And I think almost all of it was extra hard. Alright, I have a pile of, this is what we were getting off of it. That's just the nature of that wood. I think just how the grain is and how hard it is. So I want to vacuum all that up, and we'll do some sanding. Alright, I'm all set up to do some sanding, and I'll have the lathe running this direction now, forward at about 280 to 300, and I'll be sanding on this side because it's rotating this way, like that. And if I went to this side, which when I'm sanding in reverse I go there, but I need to go over here just to be able to control it. And also, this tends to have the dust come right into my collector. So let's go ahead and get all that stuff started. I'll do some sanding up to 400 and then come back. So I also am going to turn on my overhead air filter. Alright, I got it all sanded at 400, and it actually sanded pretty decently. So I've mentioned this a couple times, and I don't know that I showed you doing it on the outside, but this is the fine Scotch Brite. I'll take the sanding disc off, and this will stick to it. And I'll just go over this. I can see, I'll see it myself, but this will actually get smoother and shinier. I hope you can see that, because this is now right there. It's shinier and smoother. I put the finish on there. I think it looks just a little bit better. That's really all I do to it. So let's go ahead and get some finish on it. Alright, here it goes. I've just got the sanding sealer in one of these little yogurt containers, and got the rag semi-soaked, and just wipe it on there like this. I think the key to this is don't put it on thick. And I actually did put a little bit of denatured alcohol in it, because I think I mentioned on the outside that shellac has been sitting in that same bottle for quite some time. So there. I actually am surprised how nice that inside looks. It was such a nightmare turning this, but wow, it was worth it. And I don't know if you can see it now, but I'll show you at the end. There was a couple of bonuses in here. Pretty cool. Alright, I'll be back when we get all the finish on there, and I'm probably going to use my cold jaws and remove that tenon. Use a 3/8 bowl gouge, and we'll remove this tenon. And we'll get it up about 540 RPM. I'm cutting the tendon removal short here because I realized I forgot to show you the little bonuses in the bottom of the bowl. There's 4 little burls there. See if you can see them. I think they're pretty cute. I am wore out, but here it is. This was a very hard and a very dusty piece of mesquite. But I'm glad I got it done. It's one of the hardest turnings that I have done in quite some time. But it finished 8 3/4 in diameter. It's 3 inches tall, and the walls are 3/8 of an inch. Look at that grain though. That is beautiful. And then all these little cracks in here. It's real smooth until you hit those and you know there's a crack, especially right here. But I don't care. I like how it feels and I like how it looks. I really like the ends. I can see some chatoyance in it. There's the bottom. That's a very nice look right there. Look at that. It's pretty cool. I like how you can see it like this, and then it collects the light right over here, and you see all the colors. That's what's so amazing about wood. You just turn it, and it looks different. I finished it with 2 coats of Zinsser seal coat and 2 coats of Zinsser shellac. And then I went over it with the Axe sanding paste and the Axe polish. Left a really nice finish. So I would like to say I had a lot of fun turning this, but that would be a lie. Mostly because of the mess and how hard it was. But I am sure happy I turned it and finished it, and I sure hope you enjoyed the video. And a special thanks to David for sending me this beautiful piece of mesquite. If you did like the video, do me a favor. Click that like button and feel free to leave a comment. Both of those things will really help my channel grow. I do lots of different types of turnings, and you never know what might be next. So be sure to subscribe if you want to see more. And a special thanks to all my current subscribers. You really mean a lot to me. So, till the next time, see you later.